I think that's a little negative, and so I like that, being peak of the week. I think I've probably also heard it said that it's the shortest time that we're together in our gatherings, between Sunday to Sunday, but yet it is the peak of our week. So I always really, really appreciate that. So let's see, let me get that back down here. All right, spiritual fruit. I need to eat more fruit, and I have to say that I don't. I get my sweets other ways. I need to get it, the way I'm going to bring this thing down a little bit. I'm the hard of hearing guy, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit here. I don't know where I'm going to put it. All right, so here we go. Yeah, so fruit's a good thing, isn't it? Fruit is, it's nutritious. Fruit is nutritious. Thank you, Kathy, for saying that. Maybe I'll put this back up here. After all, thank you for being hard of hearing for me. So, fruit has a lot of really good qualities, doesn't it? And we know that. And that's really, really important. And what I want us to look at, here tonight, talking about, spiritual fruit is, we're going to maybe get this going up here. Can you advance to the next one there, Maestro? For some reason, it's not wanting to work. There we go. Thank you. So, fruit of the Spirit. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. How often do you, as we read through here, stop and look at each word? Sort of read it through as a sentence and then on to the next verse, like I got through that. But there's a lot that is packed within this verse right here. And so we only have just a little bit of time together here this evening, but I want to share a few other verses that I think really kind of, need to be looked at when we're talking about how does all of this play out? How does having love and joy and peace and forbearance and kindness and goodness and faithfulness and gentleness and self-control, what does that look like? Sunday, we know we're all together. Monday, we go to school. We go to work. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, maybe you got Friday off. But regardless, what does that look like? And that's what we want to look at here tonight. We were talking just a little bit in Acts. Boy, this is quite the run-through in our class anyway, in the adult class here. And there's so much there that to try to unpack in a very short time. But want to take a look at what Paul says here. Actually Luke, rather. I don't know why I said Paul. So Acts chapter 2. So after the 3,000 obeyed the gospel, in Acts 2:38 and verses following, it says that they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship and to the breaking of bread and to prayer. Have you ever thought in your mind what that looks like? All believers were together and they had everything in common. We live in a land of plenty here in the good old US of A. And so we don't really think too much, at least I don't, about the impact of what this verse meant in the first century, as well as the intervening centuries and decades. So they had everything in common. They spent time together. They sold their property and possessions and gave to anyone who had need. Let me go back there. There we go. Every day they continued to meet together in the temple courts. They broke bread. They ate together. They were in their homes. So they were in the church building where they met, but they were also in their homes. They ate together with glad and sincere hearts, praising God and enjoying favor of all of the people. We love to get together, don't we? We love potlucks. And that reminds me, Kathy's going, uh-oh. When we were stationed in Germany on our last overseas tour, missionary journey 1, 2, and 3, I had tours 1, 2, and 3. And so in the last time that we were over there, we had our potlucks on, I don't know, it was the first Sunday of the month, I suppose we did that. And so that was always a great time, because where we were located in northern Germany, we had Christians that were coming other places and spending time together, and so we loved that time. But Kathy and one of the sisters there would say, "Oh, we love potlucks. We love potlucks, and you ladies know what it means to put together a potluck dinner. That's a lot of work." Anyway, but notice what Luke writes here. So they were together, they were enjoying favor of all of the people, they were having an enjoyable time together, and the Lord added to their number daily those who were being saved. That's a very, very important part of that. It's not just the gathering together, the eating, the fellowship. That's important, yes it is. But God's plan is bigger than that. And so in Acts 4, just a little bit down the line, that all of the believers were of one heart and mind. No one claimed that any of their possessions were their own, but they shared everything they had. Now, wouldn't that be something if we were to do that today? We go to work on Monday, and we go to work on Tuesday, and we work the week, or whatever your schedule is that you do, and God provides for us through that activity. And so we go to the grocery store, we buy what we need, and we're full, we're content. But think about it right here. With great power, the apostles continued to testify to the resurrection of Jesus. So all of this was going on. God's people were being together. And the God's grace was so powerfully at work in them that there were no needy persons among them. Just imagine if we were to put all of our stuff together, and I'm coming together here at the last, you'll see where we're going with this in just a moment. You recognize the guy up here? Actually, I need to go back one. There we go. From time to time, there were those who owned land or houses, and they sold them. They brought the money from the sales and put it at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to anyone who had need. Joseph, a Levite from Cyprus, whom the apostles called Barnabas, which means son of encouragement, sold a field he owned, brought the money, and laid it at the apostles' feet. There was not a need there wasn't a need, I want to say it that way, that was not met. So in other words, whoever had a need, they were taken care of. Well, what does that look like today? This is our son-in-law, Lukasz. And this is a picture today in Warsaw, Poland. And that lady behind him is translating Ukrainian language, or from Polish to Ukrainian. She speaks both, and some English. We all know of what's happening over there in Ukraine. There is a lot of needs to be met. In fact, look at this next one here. This is the group that Lukasz was addressing here just late this afternoon, and that they sent. There are now, they started out just a few days ago, of 30 Ukrainian women and children and a few men who were disabled and they didn't have to stay behind. And so they came to Warsaw. What do you think happened? How could those needs be met biblically? We share together. They have been roomed. They are being fed physically. They're also being fed spiritually. I think that's Bible. And that's so important. I don't have any other pictures yet, but Lord willing, on Sunday, I'll be leaving on Friday and going over there, but I'll be together with the church there on Sunday. They started out with 30 some, and now as of today have 42 or 43, and the numbers just keep on coming. And so these Ukrainians, these brothers and sisters are leaving their homelands. They don't have anything, and they are depending on God's people to help them. And so, what an opportunity that we have. The money that we've sent, God knows how He can multiply, what little bit that we have that we send. What we sent here at Farley, that $1,000. Another congregation gave me another $1,000 to send. That was just some seed money. And then they was taken over this last week. $45,000 was taken over cash from churches here just in northern Alabama within the churches. So what I'm saying with all of this is that God has a plan to take care of His people. And so if there's any doubt that God is working in that part of the world, we can see it right here. We see Lukash, we see Nicole, we see other Christians that they're banding together to encourage each other. These people that you see up here right here were so thankful and so grateful to get food. And actually, there was one more thing I was going to put up here. Their needs are being met. Safe lodging, food, water, things we take for granted that they're needing. Personal toiletry items, school supplies, communion cups. Nicole asked me to bring communion cups when I go. And so they're even having to purchase a washer and a dryer. So whatever we do in word or deed, we do all in the name of the Lord. And so we're grateful for that opportunity. We thank you for what you have contributed to be able to make my trip possible, as well as to be able to help the brothers and sisters there. So that's over there. What's happening here? What need do you have? In a physical way, we're comfortable. We have everything we need. We see these brothers and sisters, they had to leave everything they had, but their needs are still being met through God's people. And what a blessing that is to be a part of the church of Christ, the church that belongs to Jesus. And so we're thankful. So maybe there's something here tonight that has just touched your heart. Maybe you're struggling with sin in your life. Maybe you have something going on that nobody knows about that you need help with. We all struggle. None of us are perfect. I look forward to going with your help and coming back in a week later with some more pictures, some more stories to see what's being done over there. So we're going to have a song, and we're going to sing that song here in just a moment. If we can pray for you, if you need to obey the gospel tonight, then why not? There's no guarantee. Lots of people are coming to Christ in a war zone. We're at peace. Here's water. What hinders you to be baptized? As the Ethiopian eunuch says, here's water. What hinders me to be baptized? If you haven't been, water's ready, we're ready, the Lord's ready, as we stand and as we sing.